All right, so today I'm going over Selesnya Enchantress, a primarily aggro deck for Historic that has a combo finish if the game ends up going that direction. Enchantments are pretty well supported right now. We've got a pretty great selection of enchantresses, and we can pretty much do everything that you'd want to do. Ramp, draw cards, heal, pretty much everything you'd need. So to go over kind of the main things we're going with here, we've got a number of great card draw spells in Selesnya, starting with Sithis. Great enchantment itself, and gives us value on anything that we play after that. We typically want to get one of these down pretty early and get the ball rolling from there. Alongside that, we have Enchantress's Presence and Cetacean Champion. Champion is probably the worst of all of these, which is why it's just a one of right now, but it's got the upside of becoming a late game threat if we need it to be. Enchantress's Presence is a really great card because it is a non-creature enchantment, and as the non-removable for the most part side of our draw engine, it's great to keep around. And honestly, I'd prefer to have one of these out earlier before Sithis, honestly. So moving on from that, we've got Jukai Naturalist as cost reduction, just great to have on turn 2. And this kind of helps us get our little storm strategy going. In terms of removal, I'm running 2 March of Otherworldly Light. This is a surprisingly great card in this deck. Since we're drawing so hard, we'll often end up with Sithis on the battlefield and 1 to 2 in hand. So to pitch 2 of those to March of Otherworldly Light when they'd otherwise not be used is great. We've got the standard Banishing Light as a 2 of here. I find I don't really need it more than that, but you can flex that up to 4 if you find it necessary. If the game ends up going late, we've got a number of great late game threats. Cetacean Champion for 1, but we also run Hallowed Haunting, a great enchantment synergy that can give everything flying if we've got 7 or more enchantments. If we can get to that point, that's usually the end of the game. So kind of just getting one of these out towards the mid to late game is a good idea. Helps us punch through control as well, so that's great. In terms of the actual combo that we're running here, we have Sanctum Weaver as a ramp card, but if we have 3 or more enchantments on the board, we can enchant it with Gauntlets of Light here, which we keep a 1 of. This with Sanctum Weaver is an infinite mana combo that can help us get the means to cast out everything that we're drawing through our Sithis, Enchantress's Presence, Cetacean Champion draw engine. When to actually play this is kind of a debate, because you want to make sure that you don't play it into any removal for your Sanctum Weaver since we only have 1. I included Balaged Recoveries in case we lose any of these things, but generally it's great to play this when your opponent's tapped out. We're doing all this so that we can eventually get to casting A Perch of the Second Sun twice, which is our actual win condition. Typically what I'll do is try to get a couple of draw pieces online, start ripping through the deck, establish that infinite mana combo, and then with maybe 1 or 2 draw pieces in play and 2 enchantments in hand, you can generally get yourself going to the point where you're playing more draw engines and you just draw into Approach, cast it, draw into it again, and cast it to win. This deck is pretty well positioned except for a few things. Number 1, you have to watch out for Farewell, which can exile all creatures, enchantments, whatever. A Farewell on enchantments will pretty much wipe you out, so if you're in that control matchup, then you kind of need to be cautious about letting the game go very long. Luckily, we have cards like Machika's Reign of Truth here, which will help us punch through surprisingly in these kinds of matchups. But for the most part, if we're in a control matchup, we just kind of try to go balls to the wall and finish the game out. The land base is pretty whatever. I'm running a bunch of tapped lands since we honestly don't really even need them. In terms of a few one-ofs here, one-ofs or two-ofs, we have Kami of Bamboo Groves. This is kind of a flex slot. You can put whatever you want in here. I find it nice to get another land onto the battlefield, but any other enchantment will really do. I'm including a one of Crozen Grip in case we run into any shrines, mirror matches, or anything that deals with non-creature or non-planeswalker and things that we need to answer. Then the final piece to this all is Sterling Grove. This gives our stuff Shroud, and that's usually very good, but there are a couple of scenarios that we need to watch out for. Number one is Machikos and Gauntlets target something, and with a Sterling Grove in play, your things have Shroud, which means even you can't target them. So you need to make sure that you are activating Sterling Grove to sacrifice it before you cast any of those problematic cards, because they will need to target when they enter the battlefield, and Sterling Grove will prevent that. That'll probably do for the Dech Tech for now. This deck is a lot of fun to play. It gets moving really quickly, and you tend to win a lot of games with it. There are not too many bad matchups here, but if you run into it, honestly, you just have to speed for the finish line and hope you get there. And here we go. We'll go on to a little league of games here. All right, so we are on the play in game one here. I'm seeing 1 Enchantress's Presence, which is probably the minimum that I'd want. Well, technically 2 draw pieces, though Selesnya Champion's not an enchantment. I think this is fine. I've got 3 mana sources and a March in case I need it. I'm thinking my first couple of turns look like Jukai Naturalist into Enchantress's Presence, and then we go from there. I'll keep that. Alright, Valgated Recovery in first, since we probably won't need that. See what our opponent's on. Opponent is on a Hive deck. Looks like discard control, if I had to guess. Let's see what they take. Makes sense to take the Selesnya Champion. We drew right into another Sithis, so that is awesome. I am wondering if I should probably just start playing things out here. This deck is probably going to run a lot of single target removal, so running a Sithis out early is not amazing. I think what I'll do is I'm going to drop a Plains, put Naturalist in first. If we get to the next turn with it, I'll play Enchantress's Presence, but otherwise I'll do Sithis. Cool, so that baited out Fatal Push. We like to see that. I will drop Sands here, and we'll run out the Sithis. See if they got something else for this. One more Fatal Push. Something's holding priority. And Fatal Push probably. Yep. Alright, so that's 2 spells out of the way. We'll take that. Graveyard Trespasser, so we will be losing things out of the graveyard. That's unfortunate, but we will make do. I'll run out the Enchantress's Presence, which I think they're going to have a hard time removing, and we'll see what their aggro plan is like. Alright, getting drained a little bit here. And let's see what we draw. A creature would be nice, because otherwise we're kind of stuck here. I could potentially run out the Machiko's Reign. Alright, so we got a draw land here. I think just to get a draw off Enchantresses, I'm going to run this out. Oof, man. Into another land, at least we got that out of the way. I'm going to decline the ward and let them go ahead. We're going to need to get a good draw out of this next one if we want to do anything. So we are losing a lot through the Graveyard Trespassers now. Our graveyard's going to be pretty much empty, but luckily we're not really using it that much. So these are 3 CMC. I could exile Gauntlets to remove them, but that's not really a good call for me. Alright, they're declining to remove their own graveyard. I don't think they're going to be on any escape cards likely, so we will see. So they're holding priority on something. Maybe eliminate or cast down. You take 8 next turn, so it's a 2-turn clock. I'm going to really need to spike a creature off the top of the deck here. Ooh, another land. You hate to see it. That's unfortunate. We'll resolve and decline the ward trigger once our opponent says yes that we can. And I think I'm probably on marching one of these things on their turn. So in order to do this, I'm going to need 4 mana. I'll drop the Botanical Plaza and pass the turn. I'm going to probably discard Forest to March, just so that I can hold that goal of getting Gauntlets of Light on the battlefield sometime soon. Channeling Attack and Numa. What are we going to take? Liliana. Okay, so we're not discarding this turn, but we will next turn, which means we probably lose Gauntlets. I'll wait till after attackers and kill one of these things. I'll do it not in response to this, actually. I'll resolve these 2 first. Now I will march. Let's march for 3. No white cards exiling. Kill this thing and ward trigger. Resolve, discarding the Forest. Yes, I will. Cool, so this gives us a 3-turn clock. 2 draw steps. We'll actually get the Machika's Rain transforming right after here. And another Enchantress's Presence is great for us. Although it's just a 2/2, so let's start with an Enchantress's Presence, see what we draw into. Machika dies, it seems. That was the eliminate I was looking forward to earlier. And it looks like we're going to be discarding this Gauntlets of the Light next turn, which is unfortunate, and taking 4. So we have 1 draw step here. 1 draw step is enough. We're going to need to draw an enchantment here. That's for sure. So they didn't activate Liliana. Looks like they don't want to discard whatever they're holding on to, which to me suggests that it is a removal spell. Banishing Light targeting the Glutton is okay. I could also draw. Well, actually, Enchantress's Presence will draw twice off Banishing Light. I can then Gauntlets of Light after if I need to draw again. But that actually won't work. So I'm going to cast Banishing Light. We'll draw our 2 and then see what we need to discard to Glutton. Sterling Grove is okay. That can search for our Weaver. I'm looking like I'm discarding the Plains here. I think discarding to Liliana on the next turn is okay. But we'll see. Getting a Kami out is actually kind of nice. I'm happy for this. We'll see if we can trigger a... Ooh, the approach is here. Now that's fun. That can gain us some life on this turn, assuming I can get a land next turn. Liliana either is going to make us sacrifice or discard. We'll see what they choose. Creature. I'm honestly happier with that. One of your friends has to leave. So we're actually on a 1-turn clock because of that Eye of the Tyrant. Eye of the Tyrant. Did not really think about that. So we got the Balagid Recovery. So this is interesting. I've got 6 mana here. I've got Hallowed Haunting and then can cast Jukai Naturalist afterwards. That's good for 2 creatures. Then I can play Balagid Recovery as a land. Then on my next turn, approach. I like that. And then Sterling Grove on one of those turns can sacrifice for a Weaver, and then I Gauntlets of Light casting approach. Probably that turn. Alright, I like that play. Let's go ahead and make that. We're going to draw 2 times more through this. I got a Brush Land. Looks like this is only going to be good for colorless mana right now. And we've drawn up pretty well now. I'm feeling alright. We're going to discard to Liliana next turn. And does the creature have Menace? It does. Oh, it does have Menace. So I did actually need 2 creatures. I guess I'll end turn here and see what they got for me. A removal spell does it. And let's see what they got. Looks like they have it. Unfortunate. Bummer. Murderous Rider. Let's see. I cannot do anything in response. So it looks like we'll just barely not make it out of here. Unless they don't activate the Hive. So that's interesting. Maybe we have a chance to get out of here. What I'll do is on their end step, I'm going to sacrifice this. And I'm going to find my Sanctum Weaver. I want to cast that this turn. We'll start... Actually, we only have 7. We have totally 8 mana. I want to cast Approach this turn. This gives me another turn for sure. I'll drop a Sanctum Weaver, and they concede. Wow. We definitely got a little bit lucky there. The opponent completely missed lethal, but we take those. That's 1-0. On to the next one. All right. Here we are in round 2. We've got the Gauntlets of Light in hand and Approach, but no draw engine, so this is an easy mulligan here. This hand has Enchantress's Presence, Destiny Spinner, Birth of Meletus. I think I'm definitely discarding Hallowed Haunting here, and then just trying to cast Enchantress's Presence as early as possible. Seems good to me. Drop this off, and I'm on Botanical Plaza first. Depending on how they play their first turn, I'm either going Birth of Meletus for ramp or Destiny Spinner for protection against control. I see red-green, that means I'm on Birth of Meletus. The life gain from this has just become potentially relevant. Let's see what we got here. Whirling Vortex. Okay, so this might be some red control 4-brand type of effect. Don't care too much about that. This does shut off my... This potentially does shut off my life gain. I will just say no matter. Cast my Enchantress's Presence. Go about my day. Okay, we're looking at Naya Stompies. That's an interesting one. Gruul Spellbreaker this turn. Not amazing. Let's see. I'm going to start by casting Destiny Spinner here. See what I draw for Presence. Akami here is fine. I'm going to need to wait a turn, unfortunately, because I don't have that untapped green. Bummer. Next turn, I'll be able to play Kami, draw into something. So I'll 2-draw stuff to find another enchantment. Ah, it's Winota. Okay. That's going to be fun. We'll see what they find off their Winota trigger. I think I'm just taking the damage on the Spellbreaker. Reverse Huntmaster, that is not amazing. I will block the 6 damage here. There we go. Removal for Winota would be great. I'd love to see that. Otherwise, we're going to be probably dead in a turn or 2. Got an untapped green that is not really going to help me here. I could buy back Birth of Meletus with Bolligid Recovery, although I don't get Kami into play yet. So let me play this guy, see what I draw into. March of Otherworldly Light is great. I can drop this tapped. Then Winota is 4 CMC. Oh, that's a problem. I don't have a white card to exile either. So that probably means 16 life, potentially taking 14, 16, 18. I'm wondering if I want to Birth of Meletus next turn and Otherworldly Light. I think that's probably my best shot here. Bolligid Recovery targeting Birth of Meletus, bring that back to hand. Can't play it yet, and maybe next turn I pitch it to March, but we'll see. This is definitely a tough start here. we're gonna have to see what they do next. So they can destroy one of my Enchantress's presences. Let's see if they do that or make something bigger. I think it's, yeah, it looks like it's getting removed. That's unfortunate. I think that's probably the last out for this game. We'll play it out, see what happens. There is maybe the chance that I draw a second sun here and can survive another turn, but it's not looking likely. This Winota trigger might just kill me this turn. Yeah, that will probably do it. I think I'm good to just declare no blockers here and take lethal. So that's just an unfortunate quick one. The Winota snowball might just happen to you sometimes. Not much you can do. I think with a turn 2 draw spell, I might have been able to get out of there, but it kind of just takes a good hand to beat that sometimes. We're 1-1 after 2, and let's see this next game. Alright, now it's time for round 3. This is the ultimate draw hand. Double Sithis, Enchantress's Presence, and Naturalist here. So definitely a keep. I'll probably go Botanical Plaza, Plains, play Sithis, eat a removal spell, and then go on from there. Let's hope it works. Blue tap land. Seeing Simic, I almost wonder if this is this might be the Simic ramp version, which is going to be difficult. I think all we can really do is try to beat them. So let's just do our own things tangentially and see who wins. The Castle Garenbrig kind of surprises me. Maybe this isn't what I think it is. Could be like some Kinnan humans deck or something. Definitely something fringe. So Cultivate, this definitely suggests that ramp deck to me. Double Island. I wonder if I'm gonna have to worry about an Archmage's Charm. Alright, well, we are here and probably casting Enchantress's Presence this turn. We'll get our draw. Wow, the Sanctum Weaver is actually amazing. I'm going to take this 20 damage here, and in 2 turns we could be comboing. We're going to turn to ramp. Next turn could be the problematic turn, though. I think regardless, I'm still going to try to commit. So Jukai Naturalist to start. Hoping that we can draw an untapped land. We did draw 1 untapped land, but honestly we can't actually cast anything with it. So dropping the Sanctum Weaver. We will take a damage off of that. And so we draw into, possibly we can get a Birth of Meletus here. Destiny Spinner's not too bad. And we get a Machiko's Reign of Truth. I could play that this turn, crash in with Sithis, maybe get a trade on one of these creatures. They'd be able to double block and kill it. But that's okay because I've got another in hand. So maybe I am just going with the Plains, Machiko's Reign. Double draw. We'll be discarding, I think, probably Croson Grip at the end of this turn, or some of the lands. Targeting Sithis. And crash in. Let's see how they block. They cannot double block and kill. They can only chump. I imagine they're probably not worried about the damage if they're going to be making a big play this turn, but maybe their big play doesn't affect the board enough. Okay, looks like they're confident in whatever they're doing next turn, so let's pass priority and see. I think I will just get rid of Radiant Grove here. No, Radiant Grove and Crossing Grove. Could actually get rid of Sterling Grove, but if they're playing a Kiora, I'd probably want to have a Shroud on my stuff. Cool, that works. Alright, what do you got? You got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. What's going to happen here? No way this is a mass manipulation deck. That would be insane. He's reading my cards or targeting them with something. Definitely taking his time here, roping a bit. So, 4 mana, huh? What play are we making? Going into Garenbrig to ramp a bit, so creature's coming. Honestly, I could not tell you what this could be. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This makes sense. Okay. Now, do they have the ability to cast a spell this turn? Because they'll need to return Sanctum Weaver, otherwise I'm still okay. This is going to test their knowledge of my deck, which I'm hoping they do not have. Maybe they remove one of the draw engines. That would be the best. Especially if he goes back to my hand. So, I know I don't need to worry about any counter magic, so my next turn looks pretty easy. It'll just be attempt to combo. If I can't, that's too bad. Alright, so I'm going to target Naturalist in case I end up needing that, that life, and I'll attack with it this turn. I'll start with Gauntlets on Sanctum Weaver. Alright, and here we go. I'll drop a Plains, and I'm going to start with my white mana. Make 6 mana, untap. Probably make about 30 mana this way, and then make a bunch of green, and see what we can do. To shortcut this a little, I guess I could play some things out. I'll make a little bit of green here. Untap it, and let's put a Destiny Spinner out and a Sterling Grove since we have Gauntlets out. Actually, no, I don't want to do that because I'm going to get a few things out and then play the second Machiko's Reign. Shouldn't really matter because right now I'm just drawing to my outs of a Second Sun or Hollowed, whatever that card is called. I'll do my second Machiko's Reign now. There's Hallowed Haunting. And now we can probably just attack for lethal since we have 7 enchantments. We'll draw additionally, and boom, that's lethal. So, didn't need to combo this game, but instead had the board state to just punch through and deal enough damage. That's pretty much how a lot of these games go. Really just push in towards the finish line before they can do something about it. A lot of the control matchups end up being like this, so we'll probably see a bit more of that in the future. Anyway, we're 2-1 after 3 rounds, and we'll go on to the next. Alright, round 4, here we go. Double Sithis in hand with a Naturalist. I think I like this. Even though it's a 2-lander, that generally doesn't seem to be an issue unless all my things are removed one by one. So we'll just hope that that's not going to be the case here and keep this hand. We are on the draw. That'll help us get that 3rd land. And ideally Enchantress's presence as well, but we'll see if we get there. Alright, an approach as our first draw for the game. Not really what I'm looking for, but let's see what happens. The Hollowed Fountain suggests this is a control matchup, so we are going to want to play pretty aggressive. Yeah, looks like we got some Esper control. That's a bit retro. I think I'm going to start with a Destiny Spinner here. I think I will. So one play could be Jukai Naturalist into Destiny Spinner Machiko's Reign or Destiny Spinner Sithis next turn. Sithis might eat a counterspell, but that's okay. I think I'm actually happier with that plan. They could have a number of the glass kill spells. Let's see what they do here. Maybe a setup play, maybe we're going to lose something. It's definitely looking like us for control and a Mortify coming out. That is unfortunate to see main deck against us. I'll just move ahead then and get a Sithis online. We'll just have to hit the double spell next turn. I'm fine if they remove Sithis here though, since we have a second one. Wow, Dovin's Acuity. This is a card that I have not seen played in a long time. They remove Sithis. So what are we playing against? This is just Esper kind of control. It's like Esper Creature Hate. Interesting. Nightmare's Thirst. And I've not played against that card. Either way, we'll probably just go in with the Sithis here. Destiny Spinner next. And see what we got after this. Sterling Grove seems to be really good in this matchup. Alright. So they left up blue-white, looking like things are good here. And wow, they just conceded. I don't know what they could have been looking for. Possibly a board wipe. But I think they just ended up not wanting to be here anymore. Well, that's another win. Quick game 4, on to round 5, I guess. Alright, so I'm re-recording game 4 after a weird match where my opponent conceded out of nowhere. This is an interesting hand here. We don't have any draw ability with this hand, but we do have a Hallowed Haunting that could be played. And we can accelerate it out slightly with Kami. This is something that I have kept before to decent success. Hallowed Haunting gets out of control pretty quickly. I'll consider this a riskier hand, but I think it is keepable. So going to start with Botanical Plaza, dropping out another through the Cameo Bamboo Groves. Let's see what we got here. I guess I'm being punished a little bit here for not playing Shocklands, but I did not have the wild cards while building this deck, so that is unfortunate. But it doesn't really seem to mess us up too much because we do run so many lands in general that are untapped. So we'll have 3 mana here. I can Meletus into Destiny Spinner unless we draw the untapped land naturally, in which case I'll play the Hallowed Haunting. Setessan Champion, we do actually have a draw engine here. I can play a tapped Balead Recovery. Drop Setessan Champion, crack in for 1, and play next turn out. I think in this scenario, I want to get the draws out of Setessan Champion pretty badly. It might not be worth it to play a single spell next turn. But we'll see. Opponent, 2 lands and 7 cards in hand. Looking like Golgari control. There's some cool hideaway mechanics that I've seen played. But this is definitely not that. Phyrexian Flesh Gorger. This is the Ward one, which is very annoying. Luckily it's only on 3, so that's not really an issue. We've got the March here, which can pitch Birth to. I think I'll just drop Hallowed Haunting now, get the drops of the champion. And wow, that's an Enchantress's Presence. We're obviously not attacking here. We'll block if we need to, but Hallowed Haunting next turn, about to start paying dividends. I think it's really important to try to get a double spelling off next turn, so I'm going to, yep, this is the Fight Rigging deck. This is a really fun one. we will have to be pretty proactive about marching on their turn. It'll be 3 turns for the Flesh Gorger, but I know that there are 2 or 3 different 6 drops for 3 that could be cast next turn and immediately flipping Fight Rigging. So I'll not block, and honestly I could just march the Fight Rigging now that I think about that. Here's a brush land. Will it be enough to play Enchantresses and March, pitching Birth of Meletus? 3 mana, 1, 2, 3. Exactly enough. I'll cast this first. And we will get to crack back a little bit here. And I'm going to wait on their turn before combat to see if I need to remove anything. 5 mana here. Will they play another creature? So that is going to kill all our stuff, unfortunately, but not really an issue since I can remove the Fight Rigging now. I almost wonder if I should take out the Flesh Gorger. Probably not, since next turn I can make blockers for it. So I will just eat this. Selesnya Champion actually survives this, which I forgot about. I will... Oh, that has CMC 7, so I cannot do anything about it. I'll probably just do Fight Rigging at the end of turn, since I've already let it trigger. We'll see if they do anything that I want to march more than this thing. A little bit of a misplay there. Could have saved myself 1 life, but not really going to make too much of a difference in the long run, it seems. So I'll exile this Fight Rigging. They're going to lose whatever card they have exiled underneath it, which could be nothing. I've played this deck a number of times, and it is really hit or miss since you're only looking at the top 5. Taking this next turn, we have Hallowed Haunting, Enchantress's Presence, and a Selesnya Champion. I'm going to drop out the Destiny Spinner first and just try to amass a board here. Keep their life total low, and we'll draw 3 lands, which is not the best thing. I can Krosan Grip the next one of those that they play, so I will just play this out. Crack in for 4. And let's see what happens. There's the Fight Rigging. This time I will stop it before combat, since I don't want to give a trigger to the Flesh Gorger. Alright, so they've chosen something. Will they play anything else before combat? They can play one of the heavies. That's a 3 mana 6/5, I think. Path of Peril again, so that will essentially make me need to take 5 this turn. We'll destroy Fight Rigging in response. That's going to guarantee that I take 5 this turn, and we're really going to need to draw enchantment. Double Path of Peril is unfortunate. They've got 1 card left in hand now. I can draw off Botanical Plaza if I need to. I'll start with Destiny Spinner. I'll get a double draw in here. All I get Recovery. Is there anything that I want out of here? I can take March. And then I could exile Gauntlets of Light, although that's not really what I want to be doing here. Pushing damage with Destiny Spinner is not a great idea. Flesh Gorger, believe I can't target. So here's what I'll do. I'll drop my Plains, cast Valagid Recovery, picking up a removal spell. Could have taken Krosan Grip, but that really only protects against Fight Rigging, which would not trigger for the next attack. So unless they have something that can both grow the Phyrexian Flesh Gorger and deal damage to the 2 smaller creatures, I could attack with Selesnya Champion here. Though maybe I'll just drop it back and defend for a turn. I'd like to keep my life total a bit higher since I don't have any life gain on board. And what do they draw? Right to combat. I'm going to drop my Cleric and Selesnya Champion in front. See what they want to do. Looks like Selesnya Champion dies. No, it doesn't. They could have a combat trick here, but honestly, I'm just interested in not taking 5. Wow, they'll just let me kill the questions. There's the Shakedown Heavy. I'm really not interested in letting them draw with that. And they'll concede. Looks like I was over the hump. I think with my next couple of draws, I'd just start building with Hallowed Haunting and eventually be able to overwhelm them. That deck, when I've played it, has been pretty hit or miss. Either you get your big creatures out or you don't. Definitely when playing Hideaway, it is really good to remove those fight riggings. Anyway, that is 2 and 2 or 3 and 1. I honestly can't remember. Either way, we're on to the next. Alright, now it's round 5. We are 2 and 2 after 4 rounds. 3 and 2 if you count that one where my opponent just forfeited. And here we go. We're back with another really good enchantment draw hand. Love to see that. Absolute keep. We're going to play Sithis on 2, it looks like. And this is looking like the Maze's End combo. Basically, this deck doesn't do anything other than try to cast Flame Sweep before winning with the Maze's End card. So I, on the other hand, am just going to try to go as fast as I can and hope that they die before they can kill me. Or before they can win the game, rather. Okay, so double tap land here, which means I'm probably on Radiant Grove. Enchantress's presence next turn. Destiny Spinner really does not matter here, other than it being another enchantment, so I'll be on Enchantress's presence next turn, probably playing Last Man's Hands. And now this is not what I expected. This is instead a Voice of the Blessed deck. I guess they're just using this for the Seek. Interesting. So now I want to play a little different. I want to avoid giving them life. And then at the same time, I want to push damage so that they don't get a any creature that requires a high life total to go online. So here's Enchantress's presence. Will we find something useful? We will find instead an approach. Not great. Generally with this deck, I don't want to have more than 3 draw spells or draw permanents on board at once. If I'm not ready to win, it generally is more of a hindrance than a help. Okay, cool. That Sterling Grove was worth it, it looks like. A lot of my things could die. Looks like we will want to have that redundancy. I can Jukai Naturalist into Enchantress's presence. Seems pretty good. We find the untapped one. We can play Destiny Spinner as well. Not really worried about counter spells, so I can sequence it the easy way. We've got a Banishing Light here. I'm really excited to play that next turn. There's Destiny Spinner. And we are on our draw right now. I don't think there's anything I am worried about enchantment-wise from this deck, so I think I discard Curse Grip. They could have Authority of the Consuls, which is a problem, but I don't think that's something I really want to worry about right now. Birth of Meletus can be my land drop, so I could get rid of Brushland, especially since this one does cost life. Or I could get rid of one of my double Sithises, which I think is honestly better at this point. I'm already drawing hard enough, and casting one is only good for the cards that it draws. So I'll get rid of those two. And we'll see if this Voice of the Blessed ends up getting really big or not. Alright, so this is the Angel Cleric Life Gain deck. Or Cleric, I mean. We'll take 4 here. Really not interested in blocking that. Unless I want to do Jukai Naturalist. I think it's probably okay. I just have to get rid of Righteous Valkyrie before they get to 27 life. So I'm thinking that I just lead on that right now. Machiko's Reign does help Jukai Naturalist push through pretty hard. Birth of Meletus is also nice to start out with, but I think I am on Vanishing Light here on Righteous Valkyrie. That thing is just really annoying if it gets going. We do draw the Sanctum Weaver, so I'm absolutely playing that this turn. They will need... Yeah, okay. That's fine. That works for me. So looks like we are now 3-2 after 5 rounds. Under round 6. Maybe we'll get the diamond today. Alright, here we are in round 6. Mr. Joseph 12. Triple Sithis' hand. We are just getting progressively more and more card draw hands. I think I like this. Hopefully we're in a matchup where having multiple Sithises is a good thing. Worst comes to worst, each one is good for a 2-mana draw card, so maybe you just go for it. You draw an approach for at least the 3rd game pretty early. That's unfortunate. Now this is an interesting one. So this could be, this is blue-black ramping. Could be some high top end ramp. Also could be the Sculpting Steel Cloud Key combo. I'll have to keep both of those in mind. Here I'm probably just on this guy, casting, well, getting my 1 point of damage in, and then dropping another Sithis out. Literally just for the card draw. You get a Hallowed Haunting here. I'd be really happy to get another untapped land here and cast that. I might need to be worried about counterspells in this matchup, which would make Hallowed Haunting really good. Fortunately, no Destiny Spinner now. This guy's just ramping out of control. We get a Fatal Push out here, but that's not a problem since we got another one of these guys. Or one of these girls, I guess. Belgate Sanctuary out. Now we can do a Jukai Naturalist into Banishing Light for whatever they play. If it's a Forsaken Monument, that feels amazing. Or whatever that thing is. Or is it Battle Thought, huh? Oh, we're gonna lose something out of here. Artifact Creature, lose Naturalist. Okay. So they get Flash out of their things now, which seems like that's what they're going for. I'm gonna cast Hallowed Haunting now. Then looks like it will be Banishing Light into potentially Enchantress's Presence next turn. Alright. This is a new deck for me, so I don't really know what they're playing. We'll see, there's that Forsaken Monument. Looks like I will be killing that instead. I'm going to tap this for colorless, Banishing Light and Monument. Fine if they flash things out. I probably won't be attacking until it's too late for them anyway. There's Enchantress's Presence, which honestly should be cast before Vanishing Light. Slight sequencing mix up, but it'll just be only a card off. Alright. At this point, I'm not really worried about them dealing little chip points of damage for me. I'm worried about whatever big thing they want to cast, which is likely some Eldrazi. Gavriel. Gavriel's interesting.
Dealing with you. I don't think you.
I think I'm discarding Sithis to this. And then hopefully drawing into something with Machiko. Maybe that miss sequence is going to cost me here. I'll start with Sanctum Weaver. There's a land, and there's a Ball of Good Recovery. Okay. I'll probably be on a Machiko's Reign of Truth here. I can kill Davriel this turn, and then attack with one big Sithis. Seems good to me. Ooh, and the Banishing Order too. That feels kind of good. I can take out the Thopter and actually just deal 15. And then next turn, just power out something with Sanctum Weaver. So I think here... Yeah, so we're definitely on a 2-turn clock. Looks like they're looking for a Fatal Push. They found it. So instead, this will just be a turn where I get to bonk Davriel really hard. There's this Battlethopter. One kills Davriel. One kills this guy. I think that's a missed sequence from them. They should probably have waited till
This has been a waste of my time.
Declared. Alright, now we see if they have it or not. A board wipe or a extinction event, which honestly this deck probably has, would do it. That would give them another turn, but there's a lot of inevitability with Hallowed Haunting here, so I'm feeling quite fine about this. Here's a Forsaken Monument, and they are scooping pretty much. There it is. Alright, 4-2 after 6. And that is the diamond. Very nice. From here, it's either 5 and 2, or 4-3. Either way is positive. Let's check out the 7th game. Alright, time for round 7. We're 4-2 going into the last round. Hopefully this will be another fun game. Double draw spell hand. Got a Birth of Meletus as well. This is probably as good of a hand as I could hope for. We will see if they have something better than what I'm playing. I want this Overgrown Farmland in early for the green, so I can play Sithis on 2. Opponent taking a long time with their first mulligan. Hopefully they are here. Alright, here is our land drop, and let's see what they're on. Could be elves. 4 elves with no 1-drop. So either it's a slow elf hand or something else entirely. I will try to race them in case it's elves, and put out Sithis. Okay, could be just Gruul aggro. From this point, I do want to see a Hallowed Haunting on 4, so it's either do I play Enchantress's Presence now or Hallowed Haunting then. I feel like I want the Enchantress's Presence now. There's an untapped land for turn 4, love to see it. And it looks like we could just sneak our way through here. Elven Bow's a new one for me. Just be elves. Woodland Champion is going to get huge pretty quickly. Might need to block this down the line. But hopefully with Hallowed Haunting, we don't have the creatures to be able to do that. Another Birth seems pretty good in this matchup. I think I'd probably double spell with Birth this time and then play a tap land. Let's see what we draw. They might have been stuck on a 2-lander. Good news for me. I am hemorrhaging a lot of damage here. So, I'll think about a Machiko next turn. I take 5 here. So, let's see what we draw for Birth. I could draw into a cost reducer. Or into a Banishing Light. That also feels pretty good. Maybe I play this land out and I'm Vanishing Light the Woodland Champion. That seems like a good combo play. Or at least something where I can put them behind on their curve, which is already an issue for them because of the 2-lander. Get that guy out of the way. Get 2 damage out of this. Or 1 damage, sorry. They will have to trade potentially, or they have a shock. Something held priority there. I am probably on discarding the plains and botanical plaza because I want to keep my life up. Though, maybe I'll get rid of a botanical plaza so I have the untapped land if I need it. Sounds good. I am feeling pretty stable here. And my opponent agrees. There's the concession. Looks like an unlucky 2-lander from my opponent. With already 1 quick concede in here, I don't see the reason to play another game. So that'll probably end it off here. We ended with a 5-2 record. 6-2 if you count that first concession. That will be it for the video. That was Green, White Enchantress. I feel like these games are a pretty good indication of what you see on the MTGA ladder. Really fun historic deck. Looking forward to improving this one as we go along. If you have any suggestions for what I could improve with this deck or in terms of my threat analysis or decision making, definitely leave a comment here, and that'll be it. Thanks for watching.